Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of KTN News Desk. My name is Edith Kimani. Here's a look at what we prepared for you this afternoon. Waiting for Tuesday, Baraza's case to determine his extradition to ICC has been pushed to next week. We have all the details for you. Cover up the holes. That's what Narok residents are telling. There we have it. Cover up the holes. Narok residents telling their county council who are up in arms over the poor state of the roads. Also financing the farmer. Mobile money service M-Pesa specifically for farmers. We begin with a story that has been going on this whole week. The petition challenging the extradition case of journalist Walter Baraza to the International Criminal Court, which has now been postponed to Tuesday next week. Baraza had applied to have the case halted for flouting fundamental principles of fair trial and hearing, while an application for his arrest warrant was made before Principal Judge Justice Richard Mwongo. Now, the Attorney General and the Director of Public Prosecutions had filed a suit to have Baraza's petition and the ICC arrest warrant request heard together. Baraza suffered a setback, however, when High Court Judge George Odunga ruled against hearing the matter separately, referring the matter to the Principal Judge Richard Mwongo. The journalist, through lawyer Kibe Munga, had opposed lumping of the two cases together, arguing that they have distinctive issues to be determined. The case file was immediately transmitted to Judge Mwongo, and parties convene on Tuesday for hearing of the matter. Baraza is accused of corruptly influencing or attempting to corruptly influence persons believed to be prosecution witnesses to withdraw from Deputy President William Ruto's case. He does face 3 charges of trying to induce witness P536, P056 and P336 with a cumulative sum of over 2.9 million shillings to recant their testimonies. These are charges that he has denied. Let's now link up with our reporter Ian Wafula, who is at the committee prison, with a rather interesting story on what the CJ is planning with regard to appeal of cases. Ian, if you're able to help me to hear me, just bring us up to speed with what the Chief Justice said this afternoon with regard to the appeals program.
Well, just like you had said, Edith, I'm at the committee maximum prison, where the judiciary is launching the Judicial Service Week, specifically focusing on criminal appeals. Now, Edith, overcrowding has become a major challenge in prisons, and to this effect, the CJ and his team have launched this week, whereby in 2 weeks, about 1,500 appeals will be heard, and then 3,500 sentences will be reduced. And then we're going to have over 70 judges who will oversee these cases, with 20 high court stations to hear the appeals. And then also interesting is that the legal services will be free to all those whose cases will be heard. And finally, Edith, the move will save over 223 million annually if some of these prisoners are released.
All right. We've heard what you've said about overcrowding and money potentially that the judiciary and the prison service can save. But how are they going to determine which 1,500 cases will be up for this program? How do they determine who comes first?
Well, most of the prisons who are interested in getting their cases revisited have applied, and that is how they'll be chosen. So, hello?
Yes, I can hear you, Ian.
Yes, that is how the cases shall be heard.
All right, thank you very much, Ian Wafula, coming to us from Committee Maximum Prison, where the Chief Justice has come up with what some might say is an ambitious program of hearing 1,500 appeal cases in a span, or in a very short span of time, and setting aside 70 judges to hear those cases. We'll revisit that story in our subsequent bulletins. Right now, though, representatives of the Rift Valley branch of the Kenya National Union of Teachers have declared their support for National Chairman Wilson Sosion's bid for the position of the Union Secretary General. Speaking in Nakuru, the representatives called on members from other regions regions to elect Sosion in the December elections. NAT Executive Secretary Nakuru Branch Njao Kuria praised Sosion, saying he has been courageous in his service, hence fit for the position. On his part, Sosion says he will endeavour to put teachers' interests first if elected.
We are going to confirm him in the seat of the Deputy Secretary General. It's a step, it's a promotion also. Kwa hivyo tuna promote Bwana Muso number 1 awe Deputy Secretary General. Hatuwezi pea mtu promotion bili, hatutoke assistant where the Secretary General. That is not fair.
How bad are your roads? I bet they're not as bad as the ones residents of Nairegie and Kare in Narok East have to use. And that's why they're protesting the poor state of the roads in that area, especially the Nairegie and Kare Link Road. They say that the contractors are doing a shoddy job trying to recarpet the damaged road using soil instead of marram. Transport has been paralyzed for the last few weeks as drivers and border operators cannot operate on the muddy road. The recarpeting is said to have been initiated at the cost of 70 million shillings to cover the 5-kilometer road that has been in its sorry state for the last 3 weeks. They say several lorries have overturned on the road and students heading back to school after midterm have been forced to walk long distances in order to catch passenger service vehicles. And I mean, need we say more? There are the pictures on your screen.
Tunataka hizi barabara itengenezwe sababu tunajua kasi pesa mingi mnatoa katika pesa ya county council inatoka kwa hii barabara. Kwa hii barabara ya Nairikiangare kutoka Konjonga watu wana shida sana kwa juu ya barabara. Mizigo naosea kwa njia. Kama sasa tulikuwa tumekuja kununua mizigo tuende nyumbani tukauza tukajitafutia. Leo tutauza, hatutauza.
Tumekataa hii maneno ya hii barabara. Hata hatutaki lami fast tuwekewe mara. Ukiangalia nyuso saa wote unaona wamejaa vumbi. Ukienda hospitali hapa, patient kubwa wako huku. TB, macho, kila mtu.
Elsewhere, hundreds of young men and women from Isiolo and Oldonyiro divisions showed up at the Isiolo County Stadium for a recruitment exercise to join the Kenya Defence Forces. Lieutenant Colonel Mwadime, who is the officer in charge, commended the high turnout, but said it was unfortunate that most of the candidates did not meet the required weight and height standards. He also did say that most of the candidates were Standard 8 dropouts, hence failed the academic recruitment. Now, during the exercise, candidates are subjected to preliminary examinations and then later detailed medical examinations.
During the recruitment exercise, we are exposing these potential candidates to medical examination. First, the preliminaries, then second, detailed medical examinations. And basically, this is to aid them during training.
The county government of Kakamega has embarked on a program to upgrade polytechnics in the area while establishing youth polytechnics in every constituency that does not have one. Kakamega County Governor Wycliffe Oparanya says he intends to see that every constituency has its own polytechnic in order to equip the youth with skills needed to spur the economic growth of the region. He asked the youth to enroll in institutions as they would acquire different skills in various fields that would be of help in their day-to-day lives. He also did urge older people who have not undergone professional training to join the county polytechnics in order to acquire the necessary skills. Already, the county has Sigalala National Polytechnic, among other local polytechnics. Oparanya made the remarks at Quisero Youth Polytechnic in Kakamega, where he toured the facility.
Itakuwa hii Quisero Polytechnic kuwa Center of Excellence ambazo tutaleta pesa tuone ya kwamba watoto wetu ambao wanaenda hapo wanapata ufundi, wanafanya mtihani, wanaendelea mbele. Nataka nimhimize wale ambao hawana ufundi, wale hata kama umefika miaka 50 na unataka upate ufundi wa kufanya kitu fulani, kwa sababu ukipata hiyo ufundi wewe mwenyewe unaweza kujitegemea mwenyewe, unaweza kujitegemea.
A suspected terror suspect arrested in Likoni yesterday has been arraigned before court this morning. Swaleh Abdallah Said pleaded not guilty to charges of being in possession of hand grenades. The prosecution applied for more time to complete investigations which might connect the suspect to the Westgate bombing in Nairobi. The suspect asked the magistrate to allow him to be taken to hospital as he alleges that police beat him up during the arrest. Mombasa Principal Magistrate Richard Odenyo agreed and ordered police to take him to hospital while under close supervision. He will be remanded at Makupa Police Station until next week. Here's a question for you. When was the last time you recited the national pledge? Perhaps the answer will be when you were still in school. Well, a 50-year-old man in the county of Kiambu is hoping that his invention will be able to be incorporated into the National Laptop per Child project. Stephen Gitau has created a software that he says will not only save the teachers' time, but will expose children to fun and much easier ways of learning, complete with video clips. Mashirima Kapombe reports on this week's Frontier.
Of Kenya, my readiness and duty to defend the flag of our republic.
A simple pledge that would perhaps take hours to cram from a book. One that now seems much easier to learn through this software invented by 50-year-old Stephen Gitau. Software, he says, makes learning easier than ABC.
Unajua enzi za analog ni zile tulikuwa tukisomeshwa na ile ka system ya A for apple, B for ball, C for cat. Lakini sasa ukiangalia nyakati zile kwa A ilikuwa tu watoto wote, hata wale ambao tumesoma sisi wenyewe tulikuwa tunajua tu kwa herufi A ni hapo peke yake, haikuwa na letters zingine, words zingine.
Gitau has not even been to university, and the farthest he's been with computers is learning the simple packages. It is an invention that he says came about when he was young, with an aim of introducing children to learning before reaching school-going age.
Yule mtu ambaye ametayarishwa vizuri kuran mambo vizuri ni yule mtoto mchanga. Ile sababu Mungu alikusudia mtoto aanzie pale grassroots, pale chini kabisa, awe hajui chochote. Alikusudia hivyo ili tuweze kumtayarisha mtoto kulingana na mahali ambako tunamuelekeza.
A dog is a furry animal.
The software not only teaches and defines words, it also has a film for every word, making sure the child understands fully what the teacher may miss.
Kile tu ambacho kinahitajika kwa mtoto ni kusikiza maneno, yani kuelewa. Mwanzo ni kutumia hii kitu tunaita mouse. Kwa computer uanga ina keyboard, mouse na the display unit, monitor. Kwa hivyo akijua tu kutumia mouse peke yake, kuklik na kuielekeza mahali ambako inahitajika ielekee, akijua tu hayo, sasa haya mambo mengine yatakuwa rahisi kwake.
Gitau tried unsuccessfully to display his work to the President and Education Cabinet Secretary during the recent Nairobi and Mombasa trade fairs. But his vision to empower the nation is still very much alive. He sells the software to individuals for 3,000 shillings and hopes to get more capital that will enable him to do much more.
Mimi mwenyewe sasa nikipatiwa platform ama usaidizi wote na serikali, yale mawazo ambayo niko naye nikiweza kudisseminate, yani ama kuwapatia watoto wale, yani mayouth ambao wamenizingira, kina mama ambao wamenizingira, na kuambia in the next 5 to 10 years mtaona difference kwa nchi yetu.
Similar software for Kiswahili users is what he hopes to create next. Mashirima Kapombe, KTN, in the county of Kiambu.
The next episode of Mashirima Kapombe's Frontier will be coming to you next week on Thursday at 9 p.m, so do look out for that. Right now, though, let's take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll be telling you why farmers should be looking out for their price information on their phones. Now, the leadership of the Council of Governors and the Senate's Legal Affairs and Devolution Committees this morning held a consultative meeting over the controversial County Government Amendment Bill 2013. The leaders agreed that it was necessary to have a consultative forum at county government level to guide development and prudent management of funds. The Senate's Chair for Legal Committee, Amos Wako, and Chairman of the Council of Governors, Isaac Ruto, were in attendance.
Senator Amos Wako and Governor Isaac Ruto held a closed-door consultative meeting in a bid to smooth rough edges on the controversial County Government Amendment Bill 2013, also referred to as Sang Bill, after its initiator, Nandi County Senator Stephen Sang. The proposed bill has almost caused bad blood between senators and governors, with the latter suspecting the former of planning to micromanage counties.
The framework will promote sharing of information, coordination, and harmonization of development in the county.
If indeed in the past we have issued statements that appear to be at cross purposes, even the Bible says, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God.
For us as senators, we don't care who chairs this forum. All what we know is that without coordination, you are going to have chaos of development in the counties.
Our biggest concern is to see other leaders other than the governors campaigning against the devolution.
The proposed bill suggests that senators chair the county development boards, deputized by women representatives at county level. Governors are to be secretaries of the board. This leadership structure has been one of the sources of friction, which the leadership is trying to find a solution to.
At no time has the Senate attempted or even imagined that we can use the powers that have been given to us under the Constitution to try and undermine the devolution system.
What the Senate has just told you is they are not going to interfere with the executive authority of the governor in the county. I think that's very clear.
The leaders also want the terms of service for members of county assemblies improved by having the Salaries and Remuneration Commission adopt recommendations by PricewaterhouseCoopers that set the minimum salary for county representatives at 154,000 shillings.
Salaries are obviously terribly unsatisfactory. Imagine somebody in Nairobi being paid 40,000 shillings after deductions of pay. He cannot even pay a house, let alone come to the assembly. A lot of assemblies travel hundreds of kilometers to come to the place where they meet. And obviously that can't be met by 40,000 shillings.
Mrs. Sarah Serem needs to address this matter as a matter of extreme urgency, as a matter of national importance.
I am requesting Sarah Serem, and we have requested her, that when our county assemblies are not working, we are fighting, we are actually killing devolution. There must be a quick solution to ensure that the county executive is enabled to execute their work and that there is oversight at the county level. Already now, we are operating under very dangerous circumstances where oversight functions, representation, and legislation at the county level has been hampered because the county assembly is not operating. So,
Patrick Amimo, KTN.
Patrick Amimo is staying on that beat and he'll be bringing you more details in our subsequent bulletins. Right now, though, let's have a look at business. And farmers will now access price information for their crops through the mobile phone. This follows the announcement of a partnership between the M-Pesa Foundation and MFarm, a local agricultural software solution company. MFarm has deployed an agent network whose key role is to recruit farmers onto the platform and then to act as collection points for farm produce. This agent network is fashioned around the M-Pesa agent network model. The partnership aims to bridge the digital divide between the agricultural and ICT sectors, as well as to provide use of mobile technology. MFarm seeks to take advantage of the ambiguity of the mobile phone, which stands at more than 70% penetration. The M-Pesa Foundation has given MFarm a grant of 20 million shillings to scale up their agent network, which currently stands at 18 agents. More than 8,000 farmers are currently registered on this platform. Cooperative Bank will next week open its first foreign subsidiary in South Sudan as lenders race to reduce reliance on the Kenyan market. Gideon Muriuki, the CEO, in a statement sent to the Nairobi Securities Exchange, said the bank opened the first branch in Juba on September 17th and will spread its reach to 10 states in Africa's newest country, South Sudan, in one of the most lucrative markets in the East African region, where Kenyan banks seek to take advantage of low penetration of financial services. Now, Co-op Bank is set to replicate in South Sudan its model of partnerships with cooperative societies that has allowed it to access Kenya's 12,000 SACCOs and their 10 million customers. The bank has taken a 51% stake in a joint venture with the government of South Sudan, which is expected to transfer the 49% stake to the cooperatives after 3 years. The trial of an elementary school boy accused of plotting to kill a classmate has started in Washington, D.C., and students took to the stand to describe the development of the alleged plot. Have a look.
An eerie day in Stevens County Court. Young kids coming in and out talking of plots of murder, even rape. Seeing the knife and gun as evidence in court made the case real.
Well, I was sitting in the seat, and he was right across me, and he was messing with the knife.
We can't show you any of the kids' faces because they're juveniles, but we heard first from the boy who turned in the defendant, who has since been declared a hero in Colville.
I didn't tell any students, but I did tell a teacher.
Another witness, a friend, says the defendant was targeting a girl who made fun of him. He also explained when he first heard of the plan and was offered cash to keep quiet.
First telling you that you wanted to hurt some classmates.
Probably 2 weeks before February 7th.
Defense attorneys trying to find inconsistencies in the state's case in how teachers and law enforcement found and documented the knife and gun.
Did you find any gun in his desk?
No.
Did you find a knife in his desk?
No.
But then a school counselor testified the boy had anger challenges and extreme outbursts. She claims when he was caught on February 7th, he confessed.
He said that he was going to use the knife to kill, and that was supposed to use the gun to hold off anybody or stop them from interfering with his plan.
11 years old